Hello?
Hello? Are you finally ready, bitch?
Whatever. I am in a mood today. I'm over it and I'm upset already. Like, out of the gate.
Oh, well, you better fix your fucking mood. Fix your fucking mood, bitch, because this is your motherfucking job. And niggas that show up to their job mad, that's not everybody else's problem. When you show up to your job and you mad, it's not your coworker's problem. You need to fix yourself. It's not our responsibility to make you happy, nigga.
Yeah, anyway, I once had a whole conversation with you about showing up to work with attitude problem.
Balsamic vinegar.
I once had a whole conversation with you about showing up to work with attitude problem. It turned into a whole episode. I was like,
the ball is in your court.
Can we also run back all the clips of Monet showing up to work with a nasty-ass attitude? Run those clips.
Can we show the clips of Bob coming to work with a nasty attitude and not getting to a nice attitude until I'm crying, sad, or upset? Can we run those tapes?
Yeah, and if you could spill
the one process. About crying is literally that.
First of all, I wasn't in a bad attitude that day. I was actually in a great attitude that day. I never said I was in a bad attitude that day.
The listeners and the viewers would like to have a word. Bob, you said you were in a bad attitude because you had just woke up and whatever, and then not until I started crying did you start to laugh and enjoy yourself.
Oh, maybe that happened. So can you produce some fucking tears so I can have some fucking serotonin?
It's a wig. It's a wig.
What is going on? What are you up to? What is the wig reveal? The hat change? What is happening?
Wow, this is how I live my life. You act like it is weird for me to come on this podcast and have a wig and stuff on. I didn't
say having a wig was weird. I said what's up with like the wig and the change and the wig changes. That's the strange part. You think that I think Monet Exchange wearing a wig is strange, bitch? You think I think it is weird for you to be in full face with a wig on?
Well, you acting like you are. You acting brand new, son. Anyway, you know what? Let's
shift
our energies
with the wig change.
Let's shift our energies and our perspective and
let's
really evaluate
shift
what we're
your
bringing.
energy. And I'll do my energy what I want to do with my energy. We don't have a group energy. I got my energy. You got your energy.
Also, the way you're sitting right here when you lean your head back enough, you can't see that little space in the hat. So it looks like you have your little toupee on again.
Well, it is a
I thought you had a toupee on. I was like, did you? If you don't know, Bob is quarantined in a room in a hotel in New York. So I was like, did this nigga take his quarantine time and install the wig himself? I said, this is crazy.
I'm in a bad mood. I just got into not an argument with my mom, but like a discussion with my mom, and I was like, oh my God, this woman is exhausting me. And I also have coronavirus. I have a cold sore on my lip. I'm fucking tired. I'm like, this shit is exhausting.
Oh, baby.
My mom really wishes when my mom calls me, she really expects me to hang up on, just quit doing everything. Like, I don't care what I'm doing. Martha Caldwell really expects me to, like, hang up on people, walk out of gigs, leave rooms to have a 40-minute conversation.
Yeah, my mom cannot have a quick conversation. Yeah,
well, my mom called. First of all, Monet does this thing. This is so annoying that you do this, by the way. When you're on the phone with Monet...
How is it me?
When we're on the phone with Monet, instead of Monet being like, hey, hold on 1 second, Monet will just vanish off the face of the earth.
Okay.
So I was talking to Monet. I was like, Monet, hello, Monet. Monet just leaves. Doesn't say anything.
I said, hold on.
But I didn't hear that. We were talking. Normally, I say, "Hold on," like I'll get a confirmation that someone heard it. So when they just left, talked to somebody named Brian. I don't know who Brian is. Who is Brian?
Yes, you do. Brian works at your management company. That Brian.
Oh, you know his name is Brian. Brian, mate. His name is Brian. So. Then I called my mom called, but I didn't know Monet was gone. So my mom was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm talking to Monet." She goes, "Well, I'm sure Monet would hang up and talk to her mom." And then I was like, "Oh my God, that's definitely Monet wouldn't even answer for starters." But then she's like, I'm just kidding. So then I switched back. Monet's gone, so I called my mom back. And she's like, "You didn't have to hang up with Monet to talk to me." I was like, "Oh my God, this woman is playing mind games." And then she was like, I told her I had corona. I was like, I have COVID. You need to go get a booster. Please get a booster shot. And she's like, well, I don't be around nobody. I said, but people at home be around people. You have to get a booster shot. And then I told her I had COVID, and she was like, why didn't you call me the minute you found out you had COVID? I was like, because I was trying to deal with having COVID, and I was sick. And she said, but you need to call me like the moment you know. My mom wants me to call her like when I stub a toe. She wants me to call her before I call the hospital.
Okay, so you call hospitals because you got health insurance. Wow, not about making fun of people that don't have health insurance that can't get the help they need. Wow.
Doesn't even make sense. And I have by the way, I have coverage California. I have Kaiser Permanente. I don't have some fancy schmancy health. I have Kaiser. Grab me at Kaiser with everybody.
Bitch, I don't have any health insurance. I don't have any. I missed the deadline to register again. I don't have any health insurance. I pay out of pocket to go to the doctor.
Why don't you get health insurance?
Cause I just missed the deadline. I missed the date.
Oh, somebody's in the mood. I see we're shifting energies, as when they said shifting energies, honey.
We're converging, Bob. We are converging. We're becoming one. Well, I'm sorry that you have coronavirus and that you have to quarantine in New York. I'm sorry all your gigs have to get canceled. But you know, I'm happy you're getting healthier.
Beep, bop, borp. You know, you're spreading. I did not cancel all of my gigs. You were acting wild.
The ones for your trip.
Monet's like, sorry your tour is canceled. I'm so sorry your tour is canceled. I did not say that.
Sorry your career is over. Sorry you're done.
That's literally what you say. Sorry you're quitting drag. Whoa, beep, bop, bort, bitch. Speak for yourself.
In case anyone is wondering, I am wearing Bomo Beauty on my eyes with a little Liz cosmetic glitter. But the purple that you see is Bomo Beauty. Oh.
And I am... I woke up and showered and put on the exact same clothes I was wearing before I showered, laid back in my bed, answered emails, and played video games. I'm also starting to wonder, I think I have like neck rolls.
Every time you get on here, you look for a different problem to have. You don't have neck rolls. You don't have neck rolls.
I think I have neck rolls.
Oh my God.
I think, okay, this is what I'm thinking about getting. Botox, filler under my eyes, and liposuction on this part of my face.
Oh my God, Roberta. Can I help rehabilitate you back to civilization, to society?
If you want to, I mean, I'd appreciate that. But
would you do the same for me if I had any surgery? Would you do the same for me?
If you were to have a surgery, I don't think I would have the gusto or the energy to come take care of you. I don't have what it takes. I don't have the emotional fortitude to do that. I would not do that
not
for
the
you.
Fortitude.
You have a partner named Andy who can take care of all that stuff for you.
Today's Sibling Advicery, Bob. Do we want to start giving people some advicery?
Today Advicery?
Yeah. Bob, you want to see what no, I'll send it to you.
Send what to me?
Directly. What I wore today.
Are we doing super secret? Super secret.
That should be fixed.
Are we doing super secret?
No, it's not out yet, and it's a whole thing.
What is it for? But why did you bring up secrets in the podcast? Why do you do this?
Why do you make a big thing about the secrets I bring up? I'm like, oh, here go Monet. They can always edit it out, but you like, oh, Monet got a secret project.
Well, I think as a listener, it's annoying. This is very beautiful. I think you should post it on the page. I think you should post this on the Patreon. I think you should let them see a little sneak peek of this outfit.
I can't do that. Maybe I'll do it the week leading up to it, but it's not coming out for a long time now.
I didn't know I thought this was for the pit stop. I don't know what the fuck this is. Because you haven't told me. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I genuinely don't know what this is for. I'm not doing the thing. I'm just looking at an outfit. You standing in an elevator or the corner of a Buffalo Wild Wings with this outfit on.
Can you describe the outfit for our listeners?
That doesn't like a restaurant. It looks like the corner of a restaurant, don't it? When you Buffalo Wild Wings. Monet is standing. It is
I
Can I describe the outfit? Are you comfortable with me describing the outfit?
Oh yeah, you can describe it.
Monet, clearly her biggest inspiration was Rosé, obviously, with this silhouette.
Rosé?
Rosé would wear this down. Also, I'm assuming this is Domino.
It is Domino.
Yeah, round one. It looks like a gunmetal. It looks like sort of a gunmetal. It's either like grayish brown, and it's
olive green.
I'm colorblind, so we're not gonna be ableist.
I'm not shaming
and Monet is it kind of has like a One Division top to it. You know the way One Division hats look? That's how the titties look. Like the bust. And then there's like a skin section, there's like a leotard, and then there's like some leggings that have like stirrups, but they're not actually attached to the leotard, and they're gloves attached to the bottom. It looks very lovely. Very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, here's our first question.
Ooh.
Hey, Bob and Monet. I recently got into a new poly relationship with a guy who started dating this girl a few weeks before me. It's her first poly relationship, and she really seems to be struggling with jealousy and just constantly comparing the amount of time he'll spend with me versus her. Her jealousy culminates in fights between the two of them, and I've never been the jealous type, but now it feels like I'm being dragged into her emotions. My boyfriend says she's trying to unlearn what society has taught her about monogamy, but my question is, do you think you can become poly?
Ooh, Bob, this is clearly this is your wheelhouse 1000%. So please
Why do you
take
think this
the
is
lead.
why do you think this is more directed at me? What makes you think? What are you saying?
You are so silly.
I think that so the thing, it sounds like you're in a relationship with someone who's in a relationship with someone else. So it sounds like you three aren't in like a thing together. It's not like you're in a relationship with someone and that person. Does that sound about right to you, Jacob? Love. Okay,
Yes.
work.
Okay.
So what's happening is you can't work their relationship for them. You have to let them figure out what's going to go on in their relationship for them. And you really is really.
What's the difference? What do you mean? So you're saying the other person is because that third party is not poly. So what makes it poly? Because pretty much if we're looking it to you, you're in a relationship with Jacob and your relationship with Ezra, but they're like, so how does that different than what you have?
I don't think it is different. I think what the lady's saying is that she's not suited for polyamory. Like she's not like polyamory is not a sexuality. Polyamory is not a It's not like you come out as. I mean, some people do come out as poly, but I don't treat it like it is. I'm a person who believes in polyamory, but that does not mean that every relationship I have will always be polyamorous. Who knows? You know what I mean? But that being said, it can't be your place to help this woman get through what she's trying to get through in life. Her and this man have to go through it alone. You know, I've had a partner who's had relationships since I've been with. Ezra has had partners since I've been with him, and if they have issues or some sort of a whatever, or they've broken up or going through a fight or whatever, I can be there for Ezra as a partner if he needs some support, but I'm not going to like try to fix their relationship for them or do that. I'm just going to just be able to be there to support my partner if he needs it. But I don't think it's your place to try to help this woman get through her polyamory. Can you become polyamorous? I think people discover over time they may be okay with polyamory. I think that I personally think everyone has the capacity to be okay with polyamory, just like I think everyone has the capacity to be monogamous. Everyone has the capacity. It's just about what you're willing to do. What do you think, Mom?
Did you have to? So Ezra was obviously polyamorous, but did Jacob become? I guess this is a question for Jacob. But did Jacob become polyamorous when he met you, or was Jacob already poly? And to her point, like did Jacob learn to become poly, or was Jacob already poly meeting you?
Well, Jacob answered that question.
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think I'd only had monogamous relationships before Caldwell, which wasn't necessarily by choice. It's not like I went and sought them out. It was more that just like when I was in those relationships, I wasn't aware. You know, I just was only thinking that polyamory was an option. because that's just what I had learned, and it literally just had not occurred to me. And then when Caldwell and I met and we were like starting dating, we were also like both hooking up with a lot of other people and getting around.
A lot. Oh my God.
Jacob
Fritz. Jesus Christ.
When we had the conversation that we would be boyfriends, I think we just sort of were like, okay, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing and hooking up with who we've been hooking up with, because that's what feels good and natural.
Jacob will never admit. Jacob will never cop to it. Whenever I mention it, he's like, "That's not really what happened." But Jacob did kind of, for a short while, date this other guy. It wasn't successful, and they didn't flourish. But Jacob did have a short courtship with one other guy while we're dating.
Work.
Who?
That guy that you were hanging out, I don't remember his name. You like met at a bar or something, or you met out at a bar one time or something? That one guy, Jacob.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I don't remember his name.
I don't. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't consider that dating. I had a brief and passing fancy for a gentleman who did not return the feelings.
Not a brief and passing fancy. You are wild.
Oh my God! Not Jacob and his old from the 1920s. Work.
Well, he was very ridiculous to not return that to you, because you're so beautiful, so loving, and you're a wonderful partner, and anyone would be lucky to have you, Jacob.
My opinions to this person, I mean, again, I'm not in I'm not polyamorous. I'm not involved in a polyamorous relationship. But I think it is if this person will have to change their conditioning, their social conditioning, to think about how this third piece, the gentleman, is it a gentleman that both these people are dating?
No, it's this woman dating a guy, and then the guy's dating a girl. So it's two girls dating one guy.
Right. So
it'd be like if Jacob and Ezra were girls, and I'd be the guy. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So I guess this guy clearly is into polyamory. So if you want to still be in a relationship with this guy, the third woman, then she has to learn to believe in polyamory, or else it will never work, because they just don't see relationships the same way. So I think she has to. Can you learn to be polyamorous? I'm sure you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can learn anything, but does she want to learn polyamory? And that's the difference, as opposed to can she or does she want to?
I agree.
All right, next one.
Oh, you guess where to be?
No, well, bitch, you're delayed. So Jacob and I are talking, and you are answering 10 minutes later.
Well, I'm on hotel Wi-Fi, and we all know this. Everyone knows I'm on hotel Wi-Fi. This is not a secret.
Yeah, on hotel Wi-Fi, losing hotel emotion.
Actually.
Hi, my name is Martina. I just want to say I love the both of you. But my question is, have you ever been to a place that is haunted? Did you know it was haunted before you went? Did you feel anything? Or it was just a normal day? Or have you ever been to a place that you just happened to feel like there was something there, but no one said it was haunted, but you knew that something was going on? I just wanted to know your intake. I look forward to your answers. Thanks.
Okay, I have never, though I do believe in ghosts. I think ghosts are real. I think spirits and energy, I think that's a real thing. I have never felt a spiritual and like a ghost. I've never felt anything paranormal like that. So I sound dumb believing in something that I have literally never felt or never experienced. But that doesn't change the fact that I think that it is something that does exist. But have I personally been to somewhere haunted and felt a thing touch my shoulder, like Thorgy or whatever the fuck? No, I've never felt that.
When you say you believe in ghosts, like what do you mean? Like, you think when you die, what do you think happens next?
I think that
I've never asked you that. What happens when I've never asked you that? What happens when you die? I've never asked you this question.
Yes, we have on our whole episode on the one about spirituality. You absolutely did, and then I said I don't know. Because I said was one thing, I don't remember what it was, and I was like, then you said, went on your whole Bob tangent about, Monet, you think actually when you die, like, Monet, you actually think that the whole Bob thing? I was like, Bob, I don't know. So the answer is I don't know, but I feel like some people do have unfinished business, and their energies and their spirit lingers in the world.
But the way you said it made me feel like you don't believe it. Because you said it so like you're like in there essences. Like you turn into Maya Angelou at the explanation. You know, I'm the opposite of Monet. I have experienced some paranormal things, and I don't believe in it at all. I believe it was just like a mind trick, or my mind playing tricks on me at the time, because I do not believe in it at all. And I once stayed at
What was it?
I've had a few things happen to me, girl. I mean, I told you that I predicted my grandma's death. Did I ever tell you that?
In your dreams, right?
Well, it felt like a dream, or was something. I don't know what it was, but like it just felt. I saw this angel, this like white blonde man who, by the way, he looked just like the angel from my movies that I watched. So I'm like, well, my mind created this, and he was like, "Don't go to Mississippi this summer. Your grandma's gonna die." And then he just disappeared. And then I screamed, and then my mom came down, and then my grandma died. And then I also, when I was like 19, I was working as a traveling actor. I was in this place, and I had probably the most intense sleep paralysis that I've ever had in my life. Like it was the scariest bout of sleep paralysis. I've had a lot of sleep paralysis in my life. And I was laying in my bed, and then I opened my eyes, and I could just see as plain as day, like the window across from me like blew open, and this like it looked like Blair Witch Project or The Ring. Like a woman was just like but she was in a wedding dress, and she was like just floating toward me, and I couldn't do anything to stop this woman from coming at me. I would just scream. I was trying to scream, but I couldn't scream. And then finally I like went to sleep or woke up or something, and she was gone. And I remember being like, I am mortified. Like I was terrified. So I've had a few things like that happen to me in my life, but I just think that it's just, I have a very active imagination.
Yeah, you do, and sometimes a little delusional.
Yeah, I mean, I had a whole delusion that a fucking ghost came in my room was trying to cut up my wigs.
Shall we go for the next one, Roberta?
Yeah.
That's all of our audio questions now. So.
Wow.
All right, well, y'all, since Monet's in a rush, we better get through this, because apparently Monet...
I'm not in a rush. Oh, my God.
Monet got somewhere to be, y'all. It's going to be a 13-minute episode.
Oh my God. Okay, so this first question... Oh.
I want to do a stereo at some point. Yeah, we should do a stereo at some point. Anyway, dear Bob and Monet, I was in a car crash 3 months...
This first one... Wait, hold on.
What?
This first one, Jacob sent it to our group chat first. And I was like, he sent I was in a car crash 3 months ago. I was like, oh God, what is Jacob about to release in this group chat?
Bitch, I was in a car crash 3 months ago.
Yeah, you were.
Dear Bob and Monet, I was in a car crash 3 months ago, and I sustained a spinal injury which limited my mobility for a while. I have PTSD, so it truly took a toll on my physical and mental health. I'm healing now, and your show is part of that. During this time, I went through a devastating breakup. He was a dick. Poetry has been my way of processing past and recent trauma. I wrote a poem about this chapter of my life, and baby, I lit his ass up in that poem. It may break him if I'm honest. He's somewhat part of my life again, and I want to send it to him. But is it weird? I feel guilty. I've accepted him. I accepted he isn't for me, but we are twin flames. I will perform / share this piece when I'm fully healed. But should I send it to him? Sincerely, Maya Angelou. Who? You want to go first, Mary?
Yeah. What does word twin flames mean? Like they're the same flame. Like they will always.
I think it means like they'll always be in each other. I think it means like they'll always be in each other's lives. I think. Let me see. Twin flames. Twin flames definition. Twin flames is two people who are split into different bodies but share the same soul.
Got it. Okay, I don't think you owe it to this person to send it to him. Sure, you can send it to him, but I mean, okay, here are the things. The only reason why you won't send it to him before you read it in public is because you want him to gag, right? If you don't care if you're just sending it to him, why do you care? Like if your intention is not to make him gag and to like and to surprise him, then you can send it to him, because like who cares? Like he reads it before one person gets to hear before tens, 20s, or thousands, whatever it is. So the only reason to not send it to him is because you're trying to get a little dig in and you're trying to gag him.
It seems to me like the only reason you would send it to him would be to. Well, there's two reasons you could send it to him. I'm imagining either because you want to gag him and you kind of want to hurt him and you want to get some redemption for how you feel, or you would like to soften the blow for when you do finally perform this piece out in public. I think that if you are feeling that way, I would say whenever you do decide to perform it, you can send it to him then if you want him to be mentally prepared for this verbal lashing, this tongue lashing he's going to get. But if you're just sending it to him because you want him to know how you feel, of course you're allowed to do that, but it might be a little unnecessary.
Yeah, I agree. But listen, if he was cunty to you and he made you feel really bad about yourself, bitch, gag that motherfucker. Invite him to the show and do that poem and sit on stage and sit in that power of knowing that you got that motherfucker. Period.
That sounds like bad advice, especially for someone who you're saying is still your friend. And also, if you're twin flames, bitch, he probably wrote a poem about you. He's probably telling his friends you was a dick. If you all share the same spirit in two different bodies, he's probably like, Maya Angelou was a dick. She was fucking a nasty, nasty bitch to me. And I wrote a poem, I'm about to gag this bitch. So I think that you should offer him what you would like done to you. That's what I think.
I mean, that's fair advice. But if you want to be a little messy and petty, I say just surprise him.
But Monet, that's not even you. You're not even that kind of girl. And you giving this advice. The advice you wouldn't even take.
No, that's not true. Depending on... bitch, I've written songs about ex-boyfriends. And then they messaged me like, wow.
Yeah, but you're also one of the least confrontational people that I know. Like you're not the one to be like, I wrote the poem, invited him to the show, put him in the front row, was like, wouldn't you be me if I was there for you? Make me think that you're there for you, only you, only you, Robert, you, nigga, you, Robert, only you. Like I don't think you're about that life, Monet. Or whatever his name was.
I would, girl, I would.
Living in your motherfucking mama house. Why are you a motherfucking hairdresser from San Diego?
Oh
okay.
my God.
It's too much. Oh, but you about that life. I thought you about that life. I was trying to just promote you to be about that life.
You are so messy. You are so messy. I cannot. Anyway, that was This Is Now. This. I'm in a whole new space, and you are. Oh my God, you are.
I thought
so
you was that
messy.
bitch. I thought you was that bitch. I thought you was about that life.
Back then, when most emotions were still high, that was so long ago. That was like what, 3 years ago at this point.
I thought you was a messy bitch.
You are so messy. Oh my God. Right. You are so messy. Let me read the next one. Dear Bob and Monet, I've been hooking up with this guy around once or twice a month for about 6 months. The sex is always good, but I just don't like his personality. We have nothing in common. Very different interests and kinds of humor. He keeps on wanting to hang out, but I'm more interested in keeping it strictly sexual. How do I tell him I'm not really interested in being friends with him? Sincerely, Hit and Run.
Let me talk about that Band-Aid life. You want to get this out as soon as possible. You do not want to string someone along emotionally. It is so mean. It is so hurtful. It is so unnecessary. Do not play with this person's feelings. Do not play with their emotions. If you're not into them, you should say very upfront, hey, I'm looking for this to be just a friends with benefits thing. Like just the benefits part. Like I'm not looking to date you. I think you're very sexy. I love having sex with you. I love this component of our relationship, but I'm not looking for anything more than this. Maybe not even friendship. And I just want to be open and honest with you. You can find a nice way to say it, but you don't have to, you can say something. You can say right now, for you, I am emotionally available for sex, but I'm not available for like dating. And that's where I'm at with you.
Yeah, I think that's sound advice. I think if you may be someone who struggles being a little bit that blunt, a little honest. What you can say is next time he asks you, he's like, "Hey, what you doing tomorrow?" You can just be like, "Yeah, well, I'm going out on a date with XYZ," so that he knows that you are pursuing relationships or going on dates with other people. And I think that after like once or twice, he'll get the hint. But you can keep on having sex with him. But if you don't want to like say to him because you feel like it'll hurt your feelings, or you feel like being that honest will make him not want to have sex with you anymore, and you love having sex with this person, I say just be like, when he asks you, just, "Yeah, I'm going on a date with Fred," or I'm going on a date with this guy that I've been seeing, or stuff like that, so that he gets the hint that you're clearly dating people but not him.
I mean, if you're actually going on a date, if you're not, that's just lying. I have a strong belief that in order for a lie to live, you have to prop it up with more lies. That is the only way that a lie can be sustained is with more lies. You cannot sustain a lie with the truth. It doesn't work that way. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like whenever someone's like, "I'm not looking to date right now." Like, bitch, if it's me, say it's me. Don't say you're not looking to date. Say, "I don't want to date you." That helps me a lot. That gets me, because when you say you're not looking to date,
that is true.
And then I see your ass turn around and date somebody else. Oh, we fighting. Not fighting. I'm being a little facetious, but I will be hurt. What I meant to say is my feelings will be hurt. So I think that you have to lean into the truth, and you have to at some point just say, "Hey, I am very sexually attracted to you, but I don't feel a romantic connection outside of sex, and I would like to maintain our sexual relationship if you consent to that. If you are fine being like just fuck buddies with me, that would be great, because that is what I want." And also let him know how much you value that. Like, I really love this. Like, this, I give this a lot of value because it feels good to me. It fulfills a need in my life, and I'm so happy to have this in my life right now. And if you're willing to,
or it literally fills me.
Am I right, ladies? And if you're willing to continue on this with me, then I would like to see it.
Yeah, that works too. But I mean, if you ain't afraid of a little white lie, I'll say I'm going on a date with someone tomorrow.
Little white lies I cannot disrecommend that enough. Like, white lies are tough. Like, you have to keep lying. Because you say you're on a date with Freddie, then he sees Freddie like, "How was your date?" And Freddie's like, "I ain't dating her. We are not dating. I have never gone on a date with this thing in my life. We have never done anything together. Damn, now you called." Now Freddie's like, "Why you lying? Why you tell someone I was on a date with you?" You know?
And yeah, you're right. Today I'm giving messy advice. I'm giving sibling messery today, girl.
Monet's like, "Invite him to your show, embarrass the fuck out of him. Lie, just lie." Let me read this next one. Dear Bob Monet, since the lockdown started, I have been using my phone more and more to the point where I feel like I'm now addicted to it. How do I pull myself away from all that joyful content of yours and so many others? Sincerely, Player One.
Ooh, girl. I know for Apple, they make an app you can download on your phone where after a certain amount of hours that you use your phone, it will literally lock your phone with a code that you don't know, so that you cannot use your phone until the time that you set up. But also they have like clearances, like you can like let's say I could like send Bob like what the code is, like let's say I really needed to. Like, I think you can use things like phone calls and etc. But for apps, it won't open any apps. It can only like dial numbers or stuff like that for a certain amount of time. And some people, that's like, it seems harsh, but some people really need that to like break yourself of the habit of using your phone when you're just idly sitting.
I mean, I guess part of me is like, why does it matter? You just like, unless you have something else you need to be doing at that time. Like, if you have something else that you actually need to be doing at that time, then yeah. But if your phone is, I want to folks, like, if your phone is bringing you joy, it's not hurting you. It's helping you connect to people. You can learn things from this. You can socialize with other people. You can watch TV shows, and then you and your friends get together and talk about how much you all love Yellow Jacket or Euphoria or We're Here, available on HBO Max.
Not on SoundCloud.
That's not sound like right, but like you should. I don't understand the war on phones. Like, some people just be out here like, get off your phones. I'm like, but if it is hindering your life, if it is like messing up your relationship with people, if you're not getting work done, then I would recommend using one of the auto locks. There are functions that will turn your phone off. There are boxes you can put your phone in. You can delete the apps. You can do what you got to do. Otherwise, I think phones are great. It's a great way to connect to people around you.
In my experiences, people who are addicted to their phones are doing it at a hindrance to themselves because it's slowing productivity. I think most people who want to kick the habit of always being on their phone is because they're not getting other things done because they're constantly checking Instagram or Facebook or TikTok mindlessly. That's why TikTok just had that dude come and be like, "Hey, you've been scrolling for an hour. Shouldn't you be getting back to work?" That's happened to me.
I blocked him immediately. I was like, "Mind your fucking business."
I like you. You're right. I really need to get to work. Like, for real, I should get the fuck off TikTok. I've been that girl for sure.
I was like, shouldn't you be minding your own goddamn business, sir? Talking about some whoa, drink some water, nigga. You drink some water. Telling me to drink water.
Shall I read the next one, Bob?
Let's do it, Mary.
Oh no, it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Dear Bob and Monet, I'm a drag queen and my apartment is overflowing with costumes, wigs, and heels. Girl, preach. How do I store it and organize everything in my tiny one-bedroom apartment? When you were slumming it, did you have any space that wasn't a drag explosion? Sincerely, Drag Hoarders. Bitch, no.
Not a slum. Not a slum. Not a slum. Not when y'all were slumming it. When you were living in pig shit. I really sacrificed my entire home for drag. I turned my entire living room into a drag closet and moved it myself into my bedroom. And then I put my drag in my closet in the bedroom, and then I had like half a closet for Caldwell out of drag because of limited space and how much it meant to me. So I may not be a great person to ask because I fully sacrificed my home, and I had a 2-bedroom, and I still sacrificed my home to fucking live in the midst of all my drag.
Yeah, when I had a studio, I was pretty good about making but kind of because I was in a studio apartment in the Bronx. Well, it was like a 1-bedroom studio because the kitchen and the bathroom was separate, but the bedroom, living room was all one thing. So in my dining room kitchen, I had my wigs on the wall, but and I was pretty able to keep them separate. When I had my 2-bedroom apartment in Harlem, I just devoted one entire bedroom to drag stuff only, and I had a storage unit. So I was paying a storage unit so I just wouldn't have to have all my drag everywhere. And here in my house now, I have a 3-bedroom. I have 2 whole bedrooms dedicated to drag, and now I also have another storage room because drag, people who aren't drag queens don't understand, it just multiplies and it multiplies, and when you see shoes, Exhibit A, even though obviously I don't wear all these shoes, I buy them because in drag, you never know. I'll need to get a costume made next week, and I'm happy I got those sparkly pink shoes because I can wear it. You know what I mean? So, and with costumes, you get a fucking Freddy Krueger costume made one year, or maybe that's probably something you use a lot, but you get a pink waitress costume made, and you wear it twice, and you're like, I'm going to throw this away. I never need it. And then cut to literally the next day, someone is like, hey, we want to have pink waitresses at the party. You're like, fuck! So that's why drag queens never throw shit away because you never know what the fuck you're gonna need when you'll need it. And so my advice to you is I would say get a storage unit. A storage unit is a good place to start. And depending on where you live, it may be cheaper to get one further away from where you live because if you live let's say in Hell's Kitchen or something, getting a storage unit in that area is super expensive. But if you get one in the Bronx or something else, maybe a little cheaper. So I would say get a storage unit and start there if you really not want to have your 2 worlds converging that much.
Yeah, me and Monet were talking, and Monet's storage unit is a lot more expensive than mine, but my storage unit is in the valley.
Yeah, and mine is right by my house.
Yeah, my storage unit is in the valley, so
Bless
I'm
you.
and I live in Hollywood, so I'm like, my storage unit is nowhere near me. But it is a lot cheaper, and I'm able to, also, something I've been trying to get Monet to do, this has never successfully worked out with me, but you can also team up with another drag queen, or 2 or 3 or 4, however many you need, and get a common space where you all can store your stuff together. I've been trying to get Monet to go in with me on some sort of a mega studio space where we can have imagine if we each had
And
a
I've
dressing
literally
room.
said I would do it. You're acting like I'm like against it. I don't know what this story you're trying to say. I
Okay,
never
well,
said I would
this
not
is
want
not
to
an
do that.
attack on you. Wow, money. This is not an attack.
You started it as an attack. You literally like, well, I've been trying to get Monet to do this, and she literally would not budge. She doesn't want to do it. Literally how you started it.
That's. Do you know what literally means? You know how that word works? Anyway,
Almost literally, bitch.
Anyway, like I was saying, I try to get Monet to go in with me on this space, but she literally said no. And that way you can split the cost, and maybe if your drag is paying for itself, then this would be a good way to let it give you back some of your life. You know what I mean?
But also watch the
it's
queens
part of
you
the
share space
lifestyle.
with. I would share a space with Bob. I wouldn't. There's not many people I would share a space with because I know Bob wouldn't like take my things without my permission, etc. But if you share a space with some bitches, some bitches be like, "Oh, she won't mind," and then you go to the gig at Scoobity Bubbity Bar and she got your fucking catsuit on. You're like, "What the fuck?" So with that, be careful who you share space with.
Not just if it's still your stuff, bitch. Does this drag queen smell? Are you gonna walk through the room and it's gonna smell like nasty, dirty ass tights? Does she make the money to be able to afford to pay her part of the rent for y'all? Is she messy? Is her stuff going to start?
Bob about to send you to small claims court.
Is her stuff going to start spilling into your space? That kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot of things you need to look out with. So, like Monet said, the only person I've ever considered doing this with is Macaroni Exchange. What is the one thing you regret not doing in your early 20s? I'm struggling big time trying to figure out this adulting BS. I'm tired. Adore you both. Sincerely, baby gay. I'm going to say right now, listen to me and listen to me carefully. If you are under 25, start a Roth IRA. I'm going to say it again. Mm-hmm. If you're under 25, start a Roth IRA. I think the anti-capitalist movement has a lot of great gestures in it, but it's not realistic. And this like anti-capitalist thing that we're all pushing for is actually keeping a lot of people broke, in my opinion. It is pushing for something that will not happen. We are part of a capitalist society. Bitch, get on board. I mean, that's genuinely how I feel. Bitch, learn about finances and fucking get on board, because that is the system that you live in. For realsies. I think that becoming financially literate is very smart. I feel so far behind.
That was what I was going to say. Yeah.
I feel so far behind. Start your Roth IRA. Go down to Goldman Sachs. Go down to Chase. Go down to somewhere and say, how do I do this? And there is someone there itching at the opportunity to help you with it.
Yeah, I agree. Financial literacy is key. Like because I think the older I've gotten, obviously, I'm just more averse to trying to read up about it, and I just don't have the gumption to want to do it. But when I was younger, I was into that, but I was too busy. Well, maybe you're too busy too. But the fact that you're younger, try your best to become financially literate. Please, because the more you know younger, the better you can protect yourself later. So, I say financial literacy is fucking key, bitch. Learn about your finances. Because like Bob said, yes, we live in a capitalistic society and we're trying to change that. And no, I don't want demand. But bitch, the fact is you need to... you need to fucking work the man so you can get your shit together. Like, you just cannot. We just don't live in a world where you don't need money. That's just not where we're at. And maybe we'll be one day, but for this lifetime, bitch, it's not gonna happen. So become financially literate, because that's the only way to be free.
I don't think it's the only way to be free. I don't think that money will actually completely free you. But I guess that's a whole nother conversation.
Money. I mean, this is definitely a rivalry conversation, but money is definitely
the only way to be free.
Freedom.
Tell me more about
that. Not the only way. You're right.
So?
Okay, yeah. Okay, Bob, not the only way. Yes, sure. It's not the only way, but money is a big way to be free and to be liberated and to do things that you want to do. Like, money is the root of that. Because, bitch, unless you live in the woods like Pearl, you have to pay bills, you have to pay rent, you need money to survive.
I don't believe what you're saying. I think that the more that you become involved in money, the more you become enslaved to it. Like the more money you make, the more money you start spending, the more you start building a life around you, the more you need it more.
It's not about making a lot of money. I'm not saying making a lot of money. That's not what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is I'm not saying a lot of money. The more money you make, the more money you need. So like as you start to like, if like for example, if you open a Roth IRA, you have to put an amount into it every single year. Every year, you absolutely have to put something into it. So now you are beholden to trying to figure that out, how to make the money to put into the Roth IRA. And then you have little stuff like if you buy a house, if you have a mortgage, you are now beholden. So everyone's like, oh, the key is own land and now you're free. No, you're not, because you owe money to the bank every month to keep your house and to keep your car and to put in your Roth IRA. And now you have children. So I actually don't think that making money is just the key to freedom.
But becoming financially literate, you arm yourself with that knowledge, so you know, hey, I don't want to be tied down to a 30-year fixed mortgage. I don't want to have a home for 30 years. I want my nice $800 studio apartment in Ohio. And I know how much money. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying that you're saying get a Roth IRA. Yes, that stuff is important, sure. But if you know that you don't want that, you don't want to be enslaved to have to make $5,000 a year or whatever. You know that I'm content with doing this, X, Y, Z, and making this X amount of money, and what I have to pay in taxes to sustain that. I think that to me that is becoming financially literate, so that you can sustain and have the life that you want to have, and not feel like you are a slave to the machine. And you figure out whatever that is to make that money.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't open a Roth IRA or own a home. I'm just saying I don't think that's the path to freedom. I think freedom is feeling free, feeling like you have nothing to burden you, nothing to bring you down. To quote Chris Christopherson, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Like, that's when you're free. I think if you really want to be free, bitch, go live off the land. That's freedom. That's real
in an
freedom.
Esoteric way, sure.
I don't think it's esoteric.
Freedom is, but it's not. But it's not. It's sure you can if you want to be a flippy dippy lippy, living off the land and cultivating the corn and like live in a fucking commune in Williamsburg, which is not possible because Williamsburg ain't a commune friendly. What you over there clickety clacking? You over there looking at something? Look at your face all scrounged up, looking rude and nasty.
I'm not. I'm just looking up stuff so I can contribute to this conversation. Is all. I'm looking up how possible it is to like free yourself from. I don't think it is impossible to free yourself. I think it's actually probably easier to free yourself from financial obligations than it is to keep yourself in them. I just know that I know when I.
But you're living a certain lifestyle.
Yeah, that's the same as making money. They're both a certain lifestyle. And I can almost guarantee you that it's harder to maintain. It's probably harder to maintain a lifestyle where you have to keep up with a house and a car and a bibbidi bop than it is to just fill up a backpack and pay your minimal taxes and walk around.
Right, if you want that. Well, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to meet a person who wants that. I think you meet more people who want to have the things that they want to have, but not feel that they are slave to the machine to keep it. So being financially free, you figure out, oh, if I want this iPhone and this thing, maybe the best thing for me is not to buy one where I have to pay the monthly thing to Apple, because then you work and you save the money, etc., so you can buy things outright or whatever makes sense to you as a person. That's my point. My point is becoming financially free to me is figuring out how to sustain and lead the life that you want, and that in a way that you don't feel enslaved to the machine. To me, that is what freedom is to me.
Yeah, I guess we have to agree to disagree on this one, because I don't think of like, for example, I make more money now than I did before, but I don't feel more financially free now. I feel actually way more financially obligated now than I ever have in my life. Having multiple employees, having a car, having a home. I feel more financially obligated now than I did when I was 22. I had no financial obligations, not besides eating and my cell phone bill and like a third of rent because I live with other people. Bitch, I was so free back then.
The only other time in my life that I felt as free as I do now was when I was a child living at home and didn't have any bills and didn't work. That's when I truly had no care in the world. I could go where the fuck I want, ask my mom for money, and do my business. But now I am making more money than I was in my 20s, and now that I'm making an income to sustain what I want and what I have. Sure, there are obligations I have to do, like this fucking podcast. But outside of that, I feel like I'm doing all the things I'm doing. I like doing. are there certain things that come and I'm like, ugh, I have to do this thing? Sure. But for the most part, the majority of things in my life, like Sibling Rivalry, like doing the pit stop, etc., things like that, I enjoy doing them, so I don't feel like I'm a slave to anything because I'm choosing to do things that I want to do. That
I don't know why you
life
took
and
the pissed
making me
off,
pay my
because we
bills.
all know they don't nobody pissed off for the money. I'm not trying to blow by accounts.
Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly.
Turn out, bitch. Don't nobody be pissed off for the money, girl.
I wasn't saying for the money. Exactly. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it. But I don't feel enslaved to it. So I'm like, oh, I have to fucking go to the pit stop. I am in a place in my life where I can do things like that and still be able to sustain the lifestyle that I have. And to me, that feels liberating.
You act like you didn't get to have fun. You act like you didn't get to do nothing in your 20s that you was loving doing. You act like everything you did in your 20s was a slog to pay the man.
Bitch, going to the Yale Club 40 hours a week, end up sometimes working 60 hours in overtime, like 20. Yes, I hated that. I did not like that. You know how it is being a drag queen. You and I, we work 6 days a week. There are some bar nights you're like, oh, girl, let me go do this fucking gig. You don't want to leave it. I know what that felt like.
Bitch, I do gigs. Bitch, I do gigs today I don't want to do. Bitch, that has not changed. I do gigs to this day. I'd be like, I've seen you do it too. And I've seen you
I did say that,
too.
But we still have the luxury of picking and choosing. Some girls, they have to do every gig that comes in to sustain. You and I, we both know we have the luxury of saying no to things. And we're like, bitch, I'm not doing that gig. Fuck out of here. Some people don't have that luxury. So again, to me, that's part of the freedom I feel because I get to pick and choose things that I want to do. And yes, sometimes I pick it and I'm still like, ugh. But I still have the I can make that choice.
The last thing I'll say is this too, Monet. Bitch, you have never been broke. You have never in your life once been broke.
You don't
Ever.
know that. That
When
is
were you
not
broke?
true. Yes,
When
I
were you
have,
broke?
Bob.
When were you broke?
Right when I moved to my first apartment in the Bronx by myself, I absolutely was broke. I had to pay in New York City. I had to pay 3 months in advance, plus security, plus last month rent for the first 3 or 4 months of and that's when I was listening to you. Just doing drag only, so I didn't have the Yale Club to fall back on. I was like, bitch, if I lose one gig, I am literally eating ramen noodles all week. And also in college, my parents did not pay for my college. What?
Money, you were Axel Weber broke. Bitch, you had a house a 40-minute train stop away. If your whole Bronx building would have burned down with everything in it before the sun went down, you would have been in Brooklyn sleeping. Bitch, you weren't broke. You were not struggling.
That
you
is,
had a place
Bob.
to go.
Just because people in my life have money to, if I fell down on hard times,
You
I
had
could
a
run
whole
and say
place
that is
to
not,
go.
bitch. My pockets were broke. That does not mean that is not my house. That is my mother's house. If I don't have money, I'm still broke. I still have to run home and be like, can I have some money for food? That doesn't mean just because people who love and support you have money doesn't mean that you're not broke if you don't have money in your pocket. Like what? That is the craziest thing you've ever said.
It's not crazy, and I can say this is true. That is truly spoken like someone who has never not had an option. That is spoken like someone who has always had an option to not be broke. That is some shit you say when you're like,
you're conflating two ideas. You conflating two things that's not the same thing. Just because
that is truly spoken like someone who's always had a net to fall into.
Just
and
because
all the folks listening
you are
who've never
insane.
had it, and all the folks who never had a net, they're like all the folks who never had, who were like, there was no option, there was nothing else you could have done. I'm telling you, Monet, because I've been in both situations.
Just because you don't have a net to fall on. Just because you don't have a net to fall back, just because you're someone, those are two different experiences.
You know?
Just because you are someone
how would you know? You never had
What do you mean?
How would you know? You never experienced
Bitch, how would you know? How the fuck would you know?
Monet, okay, first of all, everyone in my life hasn't always been poor. I've had nets in my life, and I've not had nets. You've never not had a net. So how would you know what it's like on the other side?
That
how
is not true. Bob, you have no idea. You have no idea. You are literally assuming.
Okay, so when was the time in your life where you had nothing?
Just because...
When was the time in your life where you would have? But this is all based on what you told. This is not based on like something I'm making up in my head.
Yeah, just because my family has a house in Brooklyn doesn't mean I can be like, hey, like if my whole world fell apart, sure, I could go back home and move him back home, but that has nothing to do with my personal experience with money and my finances and me not having money to buy food or to get groceries or to put gas in my car. That does not mean that I'm not broke. I am broke.
Girl, what's this next question? Let me go to this
You are insane. You are insane.
Let me go to this next question. You are wild. What is how do you tell someone their sex is trash? Like Carrie and the rabbit sex.
Girl.
What does that mean? Oh, that's Sex and the City? Oh, Monet gets it. But like you fake orgasms bad, sincerely faking it.
Ooh, girl. I mean, that is hard. I mean, also, but if the sex is bad, you just don't go back. Like, if this person has bad sex, I mean, not unless you want to pursue a relationship with this person, and you're trying to pursue a relationship with someone who has bad sex, that does not seem like you will have longevity in this relationship. It doesn't seem like you'll be happy in this relationship. So to me, it's pretty clear that your only option is to be like, hey, I'm not interested in having sex anymore. This is fun. Let's be friends. I think that's where that goes. You're not obligated. You're not betrothed. You're not enslaved to this person to keep on having sex with them.
Well, I actually think that you can. I don't think that it is a bad idea to pursue a relationship with someone that you don't have good sex with if your connection and your bond is that strong. If you really value their friendship, but you have not given us any indication that you feel that way. Also, you don't have to tell someone their sex is trash. You don't have to say it. You can just stop having sex. You don't have to insult them on the way out the door. You don't have to like drop a bomb on their world and be like, we're done. And by the way, your sex is horrible. You can just be about your business and part ways peacefully, in my opinion. You don't have to like shut them down and hurt their feelings and shit.
I don't think you have to give them an exit letter when you leave. I didn't say that, but I'm like, you do not have to keep on having sex with this person. You can just be like, hey, this is fun. I'm not interested in having sex anymore. And move on, girl, and find the next one.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably good to establish that. I mean, I've also found that a lot of times in life, depending on what your situation is with someone, you can stop having sex with someone without announcing it. You don't have to announce it. You can just stop having sex with someone. Like there have been several times in my life where I've stopped hooked up with someone, but we didn't like go through a formal. Hey, I mean, there have also been times in my life when me and someone did sit down and say, "Hey, we're not doing this anymore." But sometimes it's just like you just kind of evolve into not hooking up, and then they'll get the idea, or you can just say it out loud. But if you do want to be their friend, or if you do want to pursue a relationship with them, you can be in a relationship with someone that you don't have great sex with if the bond is strong enough, and if you feel like their love or their attention is something that you really like in your life.
I guess if you guys are monogamous, that seems like a really hard thing to do. I know for me, if I was monogamous with someone and the sex was really bad, I don't see how that could work. But that's me, because sex, I think, is a big part of a relationship. But everyone doesn't feel that way. Some people's sex is a really small part, a really small component, and they don't really care about it. But you're writing a letter to Sibling Rivalry, so I assume that you care a lot about sex and you want to know how you can make it better or what to do. So I would say, sure, if sex is not important to you and it's whatever, then have a relationship with this person. But if sex is an important part for you and the sex is bad and you guys are going to be monogamous in a relationship, to me that seems like a bad mix, and I would not pursue that.
Well, I mean, I didn't assume that these folks were monogamous. It doesn't even sound like you're even dating this. It doesn't even sound like you're dating this person. She didn't say like this person didn't say my partner. They just said the sex is bad.
You added a dating to it.
No, you did. You said monogamy. No, you said it was based on you. You were like, I don't. The first thing you said was, I don't know how you can unless you're pursuing a relationship with this person. I was like, I think you can pursue a relationship. So you said it, and I said I think you actually can pursue a relationship, and I think.
Well, you doubled down, nigga. You joined it. You jumped on the train about dating.
Okay, but I think that I also think that Monet. I think you might be shocked at how many sexless relationships are in the world. I think it might blow your mind how many people are just fully not having sex in their relationships, like at all.
Oh, I know. Like, I said for me. Oh, I know a lot of them. I know a lot of them. I know about 3 friends in relationships. They don't have sex, and they're cool with that. They either masturbate.
I think it's also different. That's different for you because you are in your very early. You're 30, not your early 30. You are 30. You're not even in your 30s yet. You're at the end of your 20s technically, and you. I'm
in my early 30s. I'm about to be 32.
Are you 31 already? No, you're not.
Yes.
Bitch, you're 30.
What I told you, the year corresponds with the end of the number on my thing. I am going to be 32 in less than a month.
Wait, you're 32? Really?
Yes. You about to be 36.
I am about to be 36. So you're in your early 30s, and you're also in the early stages of your relationship. So you're like, I couldn't even dream of not having sex. Double back when you're 50 and y'all been together for 40 years, or I can't do math, 20 years. You might be like, bitch, we be fucking twice a
I'm not there.
year. Yeah,
I'm not there. So I can only speak from my current experiences, and my current experiences as a young 31-year-old. I cannot imagine not having sex with a partner. That's just for me. I'm sure when I get early, bitch. Oh, when you get older, there's so many things. You lose your libido, and your body changes. Different things. Like, of course, there are different things that come into the mix that will maybe I won't. Not maybe. I probably will not want to have sex as much, and etc. But for now, as a 31-year-old, I don't see that for me.
Well, we're not talking about you. We're talking
well,
about.
Bitch, you.
Faking.
So you're assuming. You're also she's in her early 20s. So the probability that this person's going to want to have a lot of sex is very true. They're in their early 20s.
How do you know how this person is?
Oh no! Oh, I'm reading the previous question. Sorry, that was early.
You better just give an age, a gender, and a name and a hometown of the person. We have no clue.
I did not give a gender. I've been saying person. I've been saying person. I did not give a gender. Wow.
I also said home. I also said name.
Are you?
Ooh, somebody is in a word. She is.
You're a monster person.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was
Anna,
this is a 42-year-old woman.
This is a 42-year-old woman. And Monet, she's in her. She goes to Monet like she goes to Euphoria High School. She's 17.
Euphoria. I knew you were going there. Euphoria. You didn't even watch the show. Bitch, you didn't watch the show. Stop making references to shows you don't watch. Because it's embarrassing.
I've never watched it once. I've watched it one time. Actually, I did watch one.
Yeah, so stop talking about the show.
Monet, you are wild today. Ever since you put that wig under that hat. Wild. Ever since you put that wig under that hat, you've been wild, girl. Wild.
Jacob's telling you to shut your mouth and wrap up.
Don't be rolling your little white ass fingers at me. Also, when we were in Aspen, Monet pointed at Jacob and yelled, "Jacob is a Jew!" And she pointed at him and yelled it into the room full of everyone. We were gagged. It was
not everyone. It was literally you don't even remember. We did the podcast about when we just wake up, and it was literally just you, Jacob, and I in the room. So
no, because Andy was like, I feel like that is inappropriate to say. I remember at one point Andy was because we were actually you're lying because we were actually playing that game. And we were playing the game, and then Andy was like, "That feels."
Oh, the Hitler thing. The Hitler thing. Oh, the Hitler thing.
Oh my God!
We also rehashed it.
Jesus. Not yelling the Hitler thing. My boyfriend is Jewish. Monet is just yelling the Hitler thing. This is crazy. I can't believe this is happening.
You are every time we do this podcast, you top yourself on more and more ways that you can be the most insane, craziest, ridiculous person I know. Like, you constantly top yourself and set the bar. I am honestly impressed. Thoroughly impressed.
You're the one yelling Jacob is Jew while yelling the Hitler thing. That's you. That's what you're doing. You are wild.
Oh, God. Thank God.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
Bob, you have a good rest of your night.
We got places to be.
You have a good rest of your night. I have to go. I have to go talk to Lady Bunny now. A real podcast co-host.
Bitch, you can have that podcast. We can shut this one down. We can start from scratch, Mister.
Let's go. Goodbye, bitch.
Bye.